4 seasons within the last 4 days, right? We've had winter, fall, spring, and summer all in one shot, but today is good. If you can come over maybe and join some seats over here, I'm going to give the mic to some of our candidates here in a moment. They let them encourage you and share some ideas of what they have been encountering on the campaign trail. We have several different things we're going to do tonight. We'll hear from our candidates. We're also going to give away some door prizes. Hopefully you got a little red ticket when you checked in at the tent. If you did not get your red ticket, please make sure you did, because we're going to give away some door prizes. And we're also going to do the final drawing on our gun raffle. Even though I have the winning ticket, some of you might have a chance. But you get but now is your last chance to go buy tickets. If you, Andrew's down there, you can go buy a ticket if you want to have a chance to win either the weapon or one of the cash prizes. This is a fundraiser for our group, so we are hopeful you're willing to support us in that effort, even if you don't win anything, but still, you might, who knows, you might. Let me start by just offering a late word of prayer for thanks. We've enjoyed some good food, and there's still more food to enjoy. The eating will not stop just because we have our speakers stop, so we'll enjoy as long as we can have some decent weather and daylight to take part in this time together. Let me just lift up a word of thanks. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Oh, thank you for parting the rain and allowing us to have a perfect time of enjoying your creation. The beautiful trees, the setting, all of it is such a blessing. We ask you to watch over this time, bless the food that we've enjoyed, bless the company that we are continuing to share. We ask you to watch over our candidates as they are in the midst of such a challenging season, and to uplift them, to hold them up, and to strengthen them as the time in the next weeks are coming. We thank you for the time to come together and to offer our encouragement to them. Let us be a time that we have given them a blessing as they leave, and that we've encouraged one another in the tasks that we have here locally to move forward. Thank you, and in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Okay, I'd like to start by asking one of the gals who's never stopped. I think she actually wears those shoes that have roller blades, wheels on them, because she skates from one place to another constantly. And I'm so grateful that she was able to skate in tonight and be able to be with us to share a few words. Erica Harold, our State Attorney General candidate. Please welcome her.
Well, it's great to be here. I wish I had rollerblades, or at this point in time, the ability to clone myself and dispatch myself all across the state. But thank you for coming out to support a great organization, because McLean County Republicans have been so supportive of so many candidates, whether it's getting signs out or going all throughout the county to be able to spread signs, messages, stickers, all sorts of things necessary to get out the vote. I want to give you just a couple of brief updates on our campaign, because it's going really well. We are 23 days out from Election Day, so I know everybody's excited about that. We've been able to generate some really good momentum by picking up some key endorsements during the past couple of days. Many of you might have seen today in Chicago Tribune, we've got the endorsement of the Chicago Tribune, and it was a great headline. It said, "To combat corruption, Erica Harold for Attorney General." Yeah. And that's exactly what we want. Despite the fact that my opponent has tried to make this race about everything other than issues, I was delighted to see that the Chicago Tribune and many others recognize that this is about reforming Illinois' government, which has been corrupt for far too long. We also got a great endorsement last week from the Illinois Chamber of Commerce. They endorsed our campaign, and it was the first time in its 99-year history that they've ever made an endorsement in the Attorney General's race. That was exciting as well. And probably the thing about which we're most excited is we had some great polling data that came back that showed that we've been able to pull our race within the margin of error, which means that this race is neck and neck. And we are very excited about that, because we always believed that if we made this campaign not about personal attacks, but about taking politics out of the Attorney General's office, fighting corruption, and focusing on the legal reforms that will help individuals, their businesses, that would be the message that resonates with voters. So it's also encouraging for all Republicans who are running, because it shows if you have a message that's about people, not politics, that the voters will embrace that. So thank you for everything that you've done for our campaign. Thank you to Connie for everything that you've done, not only for the campaign, but for me on a personal level. I know that you always are so faithful to pray, and that means so much. And let's get this done. We've got 23 days. Thank you, and God bless.
You never know how life brings you in connections with people. So a few years ago when Eric and I connected, I never would have dreamt that we would be in a situation that we are in now, where we're able to still continue to work together, and I count that a privilege. And I'm gonna expect lunch in Springfield by the time next election is, when you guys are walking to the Attorney General's office, because I know that's exactly where you're going to land. Because that's what we all know that is right and good, and we have faith that the voters are going to recognize that. So I'm excited, just very excited. I'm excited about all of our candidates. We've got some of the best people running all over the place. And one of our candidates that's running on our state level also that's here, we got a couple of them, but I want to call out Dan Calkins to come out, because he doesn't get chances often to be in our area, but we do have part of our county is in his district. So I want to give him an opportunity to shout out to all of you.
Good evening. Thank you very much. The last time I did this, I turned it off. So I hope this doesn't kill your microphone. Thank you very much, and it's great to be here. You know, we're out working hard, knocking on doors and doing things that we need to do to get elected. But I want to come here today and bring you a message. I want to bring you a message about the urgency of this election. We have an opportunity to elect really, really good conservative candidates, but we have to turn out the vote to do that. There it goes. Hey, now I'm talking. My wife was going, you know.
No, I was doing this.
I'm
done with the campaign. I'm done with the campaign.
Get him off the stage. It's great. But if we don't turn out the vote and we don't re-elect Governor Rauner, we're going to be in trouble. We have a redistricting coming up in 2 years. In 2021, the map will be redrawn. And if we don't have our governor sitting in the seat, it's going to be all Democrats. Now, we're working hard to take back the House. It's not impossible, but it's a really tough uphill battle. We took back 5 seats last time, 2 years ago. We're still 9 seats behind. If we can pick up 9 seats, obviously we'll get rid of Mr. Madigan, which is all of our goals.
Yes.
But being realistic, but realistically, that's a tough goal. So we have to get out and we have to encourage people to vote to put Governor Rauner back in office. It has to be a priority of ours. Now, I've been walking in the 101st, and I can tell you, don't believe what you hear. Governor Rauner is not 27 points behind. Governor Rauner is not 17 points behind. Governor Rauner is not 12 points behind. He's okay. He's behind, we understand that, but he's not so far behind that we can't carry him across. So I encourage you, put a yard sign out. Talk to your friends. Tell them how important it is that we have a Republican in the governor's seat for the next 4 years. And that's really the crux. And if we can do that and support our candidates all the way down the ticket, Eric is going to get elected, not reelected, and she'll probably get reelected as well, as long as she wants to be elected. But we have to support all of our candidates. And I can tell you from the polling that I've seen in our House district, that's positive. We have real positive indicators. So don't believe the press. Don't believe the negative ads. Listen to your heart. Tell your friends how important this is. And we'll have a very, very successful night on November 6th. I want to thank you too, Connie. Connie's been great. I hold up the McLean County Republican Party as what we should be doing in Macon County. You guys set the bar. You set it high. And we aspire down in Macon County to be like you guys. to have an active group, young people, people willing to come out and support their candidates. We have a good group, but it's nowhere near the organization that you guys have built up here. I appreciate all the support that you've given me. I look forward to serving you guys in November. You know, we've got Dan Brady and I and Keith. Is it? Yeah, Keith. Yeah, we're thinking here.
You got it.
And we did, didn't I? David's on my side, and he keeps going, no, you got to go this way. But send us to Springfield. Let us fight for you. We'll stand up to Mike Madigan. We need your support. There's going to be some tough times. We may have to make some tough decisions. We will have to make tough decisions. But you need to continue to support us. And we'll continue to fight for you. But thank you again for having us up here. We look forward to seeing you again. November is not going to 3 weeks and 1 day. It's not going to be long. Anybody have a question? Anything I can help you with? All right. Top to bottom, vote for the ticket. My wife tells me R is right, D is don't.
As I said, we're just continually blessed with some great candidates to support in this process. I want to go ahead. Dan Brady was here, but he had to, I think he told me he was going to have to get out because he had another function, as is common with the season, right? Is that you got to go from one place to another place to another place. And it's like, if this is Tuesday, this must be Belgium or something. Like, there's a movie about that or something. I'm sure for the candidates you have, somebody has got to be alongside sometime to help you keep track of where all you're running. I can only imagine. We do want to recognize our county board candidates and county candidates that are here today, because we're in a very hard campaign season for our own county. We cannot afford to let McLean County go blue. And if we do not impress upon our friends and our neighbors and the voters, whether they're Republican or not, that they're going to wake up on the 7th and find all of a sudden the whole mindset of our county has changed. And that is crucial to what we can hope to accomplish moving forward. If we're battling at the county level, then it's going to be even a bigger battle we're already facing at the municipal level. So this is crucial. We have got to get people out to vote. We've devised a couple of different things to do in moving toward that, and I'm going to share that with you after we give a chance for our candidates to talk. But I want to start with, I think we're going to start back here with Chuck. Chuck Erickson is running for our county board. I know, Chuck, you're number one. As also our former chairman, I was blessed to inherit a very good environment in so many ways, and I am grateful for that. So we're just going to let you share about your campaign.
All right, thank you. My name's Chuck Erickson. I'm running for the McLean County Board in District 10, which is the far east side of Bloomington. So, we need to remember that the Democrats, I was chairman for 4 years, and I sat on the executive committee for probably about 6 years before that. And I have never seen the Democrats make this type of run at our county board. They are very organized, they're energized, and they're motivated. And so we have to be that way too. I think our message is far superior to their message. I think, I think our message is far superior to their message. And, our message is limited government, low taxation, and you're innocent until proven guilty. That's the new thing we have to stand up for now, is that you're innocent until you're proven guilty. But we got a great county. We got a lot of great candidates. And do what you can to get behind those candidates. Like David Seltzer's got a tough race. Do what you can to help him. And we got other county board candidates running out here. Jim Soldner is working hard, and Becky's got a race. And so do what you can to help him. And I do have an opponent. I know sometimes people don't acknowledge that I have an opponent, but I do. So I would appreciate your help as well. So get out there and remember your county board candidates, because they do need your help. So thank you.
I want to go ahead and ask Dave Seltzer to come down, because he's one of our other county board candidates that's is in a tough race, and I want to give him an opportunity to
speak to that and be encouraged.
Thanks, Connie. As Connie said, I went on the county board in 2000, so that was my first time on the board. I've never seen a race like this. My opponent has 25 to 30 people walking every day. They're handwriting postcards to everybody, and they've got unlimited money, it seems like, and unlimited time. So what we have to have is a good message. We're trying to get that message out as best we can. I've waited to put big signs up because I think that if you look in the houses, at least in my district, if you have a Democratic sign, you've got 15 of them. And I think they're losing that personally because it's a sea of signs and you can't see past it to find names. So we're going to have a lot of stuff happening in the next couple weeks. I'd appreciate any help we can get. And it is crucial because there's so much going on at the county level. We had an interesting fact at our budget meeting, $165,000 house, and I forget the number now, Becky. It was what your portion of the county tax bill is. 8 years later, it's $1 less. And that's a message we have to drive home. And as Chuck said, we don't want to spend an extra nickel or see the assessment go up, and we had to make tough decisions on layoffs. We had to make tough decisions on a lot of stuff, but we're still delivering the service. Tax bills are getting out and collected in record time, I think, with some changes that Becky's made. So any help you guys can give us at all, it's not all about money. It is about signage, calling somebody, knocking on a door, or referring a friend. So I can't thank you enough. And hopefully we won't let anybody here down come November 6th. So go team.
One of the things that motivated me to really start getting involved, and I started just with helping to open the office, for people to come in and get signs. And that was in the 2008 election when Obama actually won. I said, I cannot complain unless I'm going to get involved and take some action. And I'm not going to say that your journey would follow the same path mine has. I never would have dreamt that it would started off with answering the phone in the campaign office to being at the stage that I am now. But I do say that it can make a difference to have people involved on all levels. And we have volunteer hours now at the office. Doors are open to do some things. And we just need people to come in and help. We need people to help. I'll talk about some of these things in a minute, but yes, reaffirming what David just said. We need people to come in and help. I want to give Rebecca a chance because she is our county treasurer candidate that's up for re-election. So this is Rebecca.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you all coming out tonight. It really is a beautiful evening. And I was taking some pictures, and this right here, at the beginning of fall, is just so beautiful. It's so ironic. I was reading a passage in my devotional this morning, and it started out about relaxing. I went to church, and the pastor was talking about relaxing. I come out here, and that's like the first thing that Connie says to me is we just need to just pull back and relax for a minute. And that's what we need to do. This has been a very vicious election cycle for many of you. I am opposed. My opponent is a libertarian, so it's just a little quieter race, but it's one that I am not taking for granted. And I'll tell you why. Because I started in the office back in 1999. It has been as much a part of my life as it has been for the taxpayers and for the public and that I have served. And I started at a time when we had Sandy Parker as our circuit clerk, and we had Dave Owens as our sheriff, all these names you remember, and Ruth Weber as our county recorder, and Jackie Dozier as our county auditor. And I was the new kid around the block, and everyone embraced me. And right now during this election cycle, I see all of these county board candidates. Some of them, like Dave Selzer, that has been there, like me, for the last 19 years. And now we have Lindsay Bloomfield coming on, and Cheryl Froelich. It takes a lot of incredible courage and confidence to put your name out there on a sign, especially a 4x4. And so I'm so incredibly proud of them, and I want to use my candidacy as an opportunity to help them along as well. In the office, what we do beyond the ballot box, and do not take this the wrong way, but beyond the ballot box, it is not political. It's about checks and balances. It's about communication, collaboration, cooperation. It's a financial office, and our job is to serve. Our job is to serve almost 30 departments at the county level. We serve 800 employees, and we serve 68,000 taxpayers, 200 taxing bodies, county administration. It goes on and on. We are there to serve, and I take no glory. My job is to be a servant, and that's what we do. That's what my staff, we focus on every day. We are extremely privileged and we're proud of our work, but we are extremely privileged to be in the position that we are in to help McLean County government be the kind of county that it is. And it doesn't take you very long to drive down the road and see about the wonderful, wonderful county that we have and the incredible initiatives the county board has taken on. The behavioral health initiative. Oh, I am so incredibly proud of that, because I know that it doesn't matter whether you're elderly or in your mid-years like me, or even my teenage daughters. We all are going to see that become a big part of our county needs. And so very, very proud of the county board for their initiative there. So anyway, I right now today, it was kind of funny because my husband and we were out pounding signs, not putting new ones in per se, but taking the ones that the weather had been really mean to and had kind of blown them down and everything, and pounding them back in. And it's that kind of work for me as a candidate. I love it. I love it. You know, and so we were out there, and I mean, we probably had 4 cars honk at us. And that was a fun thing. It was a lot of fun. We had a good time. But you know, we are in the next couple weeks. Some of our candidates are going to go through a very, very stressful time, and they do need your prayers, and they do need your encouragement. You know, even it's pretty stressful right now, and just things that are lining up that are going to be happening over the next couple of weeks. Because we're not going to take this lying down. We're going to show a good face. We're going to be very serious about this. Because however we act now is reflective of what's going to happen 4 years from now. So we're keeping that in mind right now. So anyway, thank you, Connie, for the opportunity. Really appreciate it. And thank you for all you have done. This lady, it's just amazing. Amazing. Come here. Amazing what she has done. I have watched her walk in parades. I send her a text message at 5 o'clock in the morning, and she doesn't answer me right away at 5 o'clock, like me, but you know, but yeah, she does. She responds to those text messages and those emails, and she's everywhere that we are, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
It's easy to get involved and be excited when you're surrounded by such great people. You know, it really is. And you guys are the batteries and the charge for me to help hopefully turn around and serve you, such as Jim Saldner. I'm going to ask you to come up, sir, because he's also running for a re-election in our county board.
Thank you very much. I guess first off, I will welcome you to District 2. If you don't know it, you are in District 2 right now. You are actually on state of Illinois property, though, so beware of that. I'm in a race. I have a Democrat opponent. It's interesting. He considers himself a conservative Democrat. I'm not really sure what that is, but I know he loves to have his picture taken with JB. So JB's not really conservative either, but he's a newcomer. He's from Saybrook, and we meet each other every once in a while, knocking on doors. So hopefully the voters will see that I've served for a while. I was actually elected in 2008. I was one of the few candidates in the state to beat an incumbent Democrat with the Obama wave, and so I was proud of that. And again, I enjoy my time on the county board, and I appreciate the support I've got. I like to go to all the events in the county, and in my district there's 8 villages and 10 townships, so there's always a fire department supper to go to or whatever, so I appreciate doing that. I do want to mention one thing. I'm sorry that I can't vote to combine the county clerk or the election authorities. Out here in the county, we can't do that. But if you live in Bloomington, I really urge you to take a sign. We need to get that out there because it means a lot. So anyhow, I will turn it back over to Connie.
Thank you. We've had a couple of our county board candidates that weren't able to actually, Lindsay Bloomfield texted me a while ago and said she's had a flat tire on the way here. So she may still hopefully make it and find her way before it gets dark. But I don't, and we of course want you to remember to help support Cheryl Freilich. Those two gals, Lindsay and Cheryl, stepped into the fray all at the drop of a hat. I mean, Cheryl was one what I called cold turkey and said, "You don't know me, but we need to, and introduce myself in that way." And after a long conversation and a lot of prayer and her walking and talking to some of the other county board members, she agreed to step up. She never had thought she would ever do something like this. So and the same thing for Lindsay. So, and this is all just at the beginning of the summer. So they are really have been playing catch up all summer long. So I'll appreciate you to remember them, and if you're able to help, Cheryl only has one active precinct committeeman in her district for Republican precinct committeeman. So obviously she's got a lot of ground to cover without the precinct committeeman support. So if you're available in some of the precincts that are not strongly a contested race, that you would willing to come and help her, that would be marvelous. But I don't want to finish off tonight without giving our opportunity to one of our candidates that's been kind of in the forefront. So I almost think that she has been holding a shield in front of a lot of people because she's been taking the flings and arrows of outrageous fortune have been thrown at her by the Democrats. So I want Kathy Michael to come up here so we can encourage her and she can share a little bit about what's...
Hello. I'm sorry I'm late. I wasn't going to tell anybody why I was late. Susan Schaefer knows. It's good to see everybody. It's interesting times that we are in. You've gone through a lot more than my little being called a crook, cheat, and a liar. I mean, I'm getting kind of used to it. But my radio spots, I'm Kathy Michael, county clerk, by the way. I don't know if you heard that. So I'm a little stressed.
Like she's in witness protection.
I'm in witness protection. I only wish. I've never been stressed like this before. You'd think at my age I'd seen everything and done everything. Well, I just about have, but not everything. But the ugly lies, the vitriol, we kind of expected, no offense, on a state or national level, but it's been interesting to see it come to McLean County, and I'll tell you, I'm darn sick of it. My ads start tomorrow, and they ain't pretty. My opponent's not going to like it. But you don't come into my county and call us liars and cheats and not get called on it. Especially when you're an outright little fibber, because Grandma taught me not to say liar, but I said it a couple times. But
the shoe fits.
When you call somebody a liar or a cheat, well, basically what, a crook, breaking the law with early voting, when the emails right here from the state's attorney and other counties throughout the state of Illinois, and she doubled down. And I said, well, didn't Bloomington Election Commission do the same thing we did with the state's attorney's approval? And she goes, I'm talking about you. I mean, to me, it's embarrassing. But that's not what you read in the newspapers, and we all know what that's like. So my ads start tomorrow, and we don't like dirty Chicago politics coming to McLean County, so just take it back home. This county is too good for that. So I feel bitter about that. But so I'm still a little bit stressed, a little bit late, because I was at Kamlara Park. Don't tell anybody. This is true. So this is the fastest trip, I think, from Kamlara to here that anybody's ever made without getting picked up for speeding. So anyway, but I thank you. Every time I go out, what keeps me going, and I know this helps Erica too, are the incredibly kind words. Sometimes I think, oh, maybe I am a crook and a liar. And I go, wait, I'm not. My 92-year-old mother, who's pretty negative from Lexington, she usually says, yes, the world's coming to the end. You don't need to buy any extra food. We're all going to die. But she even says, don't worry about it, Kathy. Everybody knows you're a good person. I go, Mother, it's Kathy, the youngest daughter. And she doesn't say, no, I was talking about Linda. She knows, no, I'm talking to you. So things like that. Every time I go out, my car has a car wrap on it in case nobody's seen it. And now, you never know. The air was let out of my tires one time, and it wasn't. I was just happy they weren't slit. Now, that could have been a coincidence. It could have been. But it starts making you a little bit nervous. And so now I go out with my car wrap. There's my face on the thing. And you just never know what kind of reaction you're going to get. I get thumbs up from total strangers. I get people walking up to me, a nice-looking guy asking me if he was single, but he was married. And he says, "You go, we are behind you." And I know Erica gets this every single day. And all of us out here now are going through that. And let me tell you, it's not going to change. So we're just going to keep our county safe and keep them out of McLean County and beat them like drums. And we can do that by not taking anything for granted. That's the only thing I'm concerned about, is voter turnout of us being complacent. Well, I don't think we're complacent anymore in McLean County. If anything, I think this has really helped. I'll shut up now, I know, but thank you. Thank you for letting me vent, and I sure appreciate everything you guys do.
It has been something to me in my 30 years now that we've lived in McLean County. This has been an election season I've not seen anything like this, where the outright misinterpretations and lies and tactics that are being used they're Chicago-style politics. They're not of this community. So we do not need to be complacent. We very much need to be out there beating the streets, walking the streets, walking the doors, knocking on people, making phone calls. Because if people think this is the same old election like we've had in the past at midterms, then we're going to wake up on the 7th in a Democratic county, and not on my watch, guys. Not on my watch. I'm not going to let that happen. So that's all. That's one of the things that drives me. And my dear husband, who drives me and supports me to keep going like we do in order to make a difference in this election series. I know that we're hopeful Lindsay may still be able to show up, but Susan wanted to speak at, let me recognize our other elected officials that are not necessarily facing this election season. They're probably going every night. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But Don Everhart is here, our circuit clerk, and we are grateful for his being here. And I'm looking, before I give Susan, I'm trying to see, do we have any other of ours? So we don't. Okay, Susan, would you come up? Susan is one of our county board members who has been helping both Cheryl and Lindsay tremendously. And I know she wants to.
Connie?
Yeah, I'm the other county board rep in District 9 where Lindsay's running, and that is an open seat because Eric Rankin, who is now the chair of the Dem Party, decided not to run. So it's a totally open seat that we can get back as Republicans. Lindsay needs some help getting out and walking and making phone calls and stuff like that. So I think she has a really good chance, and I think Cheryl can maybe pull off a real upset against a very, very vocal activist. And so both of them really need some help. If you have any time to help, we really would appreciate it in the last few days.
Yes.
Thank you.
There was just one more thing that I wanted to share, because I know in listening to a lot of the candidates come up here, it's a stressful time for so many people. But there are two things that I always try to keep in mind as I'm going through a day that seems stressful. One is the number of times in the Bible it says, "Fear not and be not afraid." And that's something that you have to actually take and do with intentionality, because it's a choice. When you see people saying negative things about you, there is this sense of fear. Will people believe lies? But you have to approach everything that you do with this sense of intentionally saying, "I will be not afraid," because it's not a suggestion, it's a command. And then the second is this, it talks in the book of Hebrews to run the race that has been set before you. When you embark upon these races, you have no idea what the outcome looks like for you. But if you do it in a way with honor and dignity and integrity, you are doing it for God's glory. And obviously we want every Republican to win. But the reality is that we have no idea what that outcome looks like. But if we approach the race with integrity and we choose to be not afraid, then we know that we can finish well that race that God has set before us.
We could just let her keep the mic for a lot longer, couldn't we? If we wish she was willing. But I can imagine the fatigue that starts to set in, especially on a Sunday evening. So I'm just so grateful you were able to come. So grateful for all of you guys. Have we got a finger waving for something?
Yes.
Your guess.
Nobody's mentioned get out and vote now. You can go downtown and vote.
Early voting.
Get it done, get it done. that makes fewer and fewer people we have to try to run down on election day that haven't voted that we think are ours.
That's right. Get out and vote, and that way it frees you up to be able to come and help other people go vote. We're going to be doing things, and maybe this is a good time to shift into some of the things we are going to be doing. But perhaps what I'm going to do is give one of our door prizes. That'll give me a transition here to share with you some things we're doing for the campaign. These signs for the city of Bloomington, these are our signs we're going to be putting out for the election referendum. We have a website set up. We have a tab on our McLean County website. We have also the postcards that are at the table that are small, that look, one side of it looks like a small version of this, and the other side has the points of why people should be voting yes to reject the city election. That referendum is weirdly worded. Shall the city election laws be rejected? A hard one to explain to people because your initial reaction is like, no, I don't want to reject my city election laws, It is. It's very hard. So we're trying to educate voters as to why and the advantages of that. So you can go onto the website. You can use those little cards. We're asking our precinct committeemen to take a couple of signs with you today and to take a pack of 50 with you today if you can feel like you can get them out. We will have but I also want you to please, anybody that's taking some of the signs or taking the cards, write down where you are, your precinct committeeman, what your precinct number is, so we can kind of track where we are going, so we know where we need to get things into what precincts that we haven't gotten anything. Does that make sense? So please just check out at the table on your way out if you're taking some of these signs. I hope not to take any of these back. I hope if you live in Bloomington, don't make me carry these back to the office. Take them home. Put them up. The other thing that we are doing is we're having a mailer going out that is going to be a pretty hard-hitting mailer. It's going to go to a good portion of our 5 most competitive districts, but we also will have extras printed up that will also be a handout. So that should be coming up just in the next few days that we'll get those printed. So just be aware that that's more material that we're trying to put in the hand of our precinct committeemen and volunteers. If you are willing to come volunteer, we have our office hours. We have a volunteer thing on our online. You can just show up at the office on the printed office hours and be there to help do things. We've got little postcards that they're talking about. Some of the candidates are actually writing by hand postcards and mailing them to people. Well, we've got a basic postcard with just all you have to do is a small message and then an address, and we'll pay for the postage, getting them to whoever it is you want to mail to. Letters to the editor. That's probably the last reminder I need to give you, because that ends, the submission for letters to the editor in the Panagraph ends the end of this week. Now you may think, who reads the Panagraph anymore? But there are enough people that do read it, and it also, every time a Panagraph letter is printed, which I commend Kathy, she does an excellent job of posting those letters on Facebook, and they become an excellent thing that people can repeat. So if you are able to write a letter to the editor in support of a candidate, in support of this election commission referendum, all of that would be very, very helpful. And you can do it online. You can just go online, 150 words. If you're stuck on an idea, let me know. I'll send you some suggestions. They actually rejected mine, so I just like, okay, somebody's got to write for me, because they wouldn't take mine. But I guess maybe I'm just, for some reason, like playing on your chairman, I suppose. They
People
wouldn't.
who read the Panagraph do vote.
Yes, they do. People that read the Panagraph vote. And a lot of the older segment of our population still read the Panagraph very faithfully. Not just, but it helps us create some digital material that we can use in emails and on Facebook. And if you guys, any of you guys that are doing the Twitter and the Instagram can help us forward that stuff on, that would be wonderful. We have a celebration event on November 6th that you're all invited to come at the Holiday Inn Express over by Walmart. We're going to be celebrating and watching the TV for the election results. So letting you know, you're all invited.
The Walmart on the east side.
Walmart East Side Holiday Inn Express. Yes, the one that's closest to my house, which I know. That's not the reason we picked it. That we're going to have some refreshments and some TV and time to commemorate and enjoy. I urge all of our candidates, that's a great place to send, you want to have a place to be able to celebrate with your volunteers. that's what we're doing it for, because we figure you don't have time to organize something like that. So just tell your volunteers, everybody come to the Holiday Inn Express, and we will celebrate together, because we are going to celebrate, because we're going to have victories across the board. You're thinking about maybe talking about Cheryl Freilich, for example. I will clue you in that we've even got the current Democratic county board member for that district is calling for her, Paul Segabiano. He's making phone calls for Cheryl. He has to keep it low key because he doesn't want to be right out of town on tarred and feathered. I understand, but he is making phone calls for Cheryl. That tells you how disliked from many, many people her opponent is on the Democratic ticket. So be of hope, be of cheer. Would it not be cool if we got that district as well and all of this? And God can do it. God's a miracle worker all across the board. So that, I guess, is my final request for you guys to be doing. And I know many of you are doing it faithfully already. We wouldn't be here if you weren't praying for this whole process. We want to be able to have things happen that people will sit back and say, like, how in the world do they do that? It's because we know where the power comes from and the source and the direction comes from. So that was a very loud noise. Hopefully it's okay.
It wasn't the weapon.
It was okay. I'll admit I was a little concerned about how much we publicize this publicly about this, that we might have people show up that wanted to give us trouble, but we are having a good evening, I think. And we're going to finish it off with our drawing of our final fundraiser. And I'm not going to draw. Erica, would you please draw again? We're going to just make you draw, because you're of the few that wouldn't have a. So we have 3 prizes. Let's start with our cash prize first, right? We have 3 prizes, right?
Yep,
this is for the first prize of. I don't have my
$100 Amazon card, the $50 Amazon.
Okay, $50 Amazon card goes to ticket number 004, Carrie Brown. Is Carrie here? You didn't have to be present to win, so we would just make sure that Carrie knows he receives the $50 Amazon card. Okay? And yes, don't let the dog eat it. We're letting it go there. All right, let's draw for the $100 Amazon card. Goes to, let's see, David Blumenshine. Hey, all right. You get the $100 card. Good job.
There you go.
Okay. We want to make sure we're keeping track of our winners so we can publicize it. Okay.
Does that mean I don't get to win the last?
Yeah, you can't win.
Well, how many tickets did you get? If you've got still got tickets in there, you could. All right.
Pull it out for me, Erica. Then I'll give it to Frank.
Okay. And a winner of that cool weapon isn't me. Oh gosh, it's Steve Purcell. Steve, where are you? Well done, sir. Good job.
Buy a lot of tickets, you win.
Oh, man. Yeah. Okay. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah.
How many tickets you buy?
We need to get a picture of you with the weapon, and so we can share our winner, right? Okay.
We'll do that later.
Okay.
Tickets, we'll have a good chance. So you guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna bring it down and show them. See this? You could have won this.
Okay. Well, folks, we've still got hot dogs. We've got stuff for s'mores. We've got hot chocolate and coffee, and a fire still going. So please enjoy one another and enjoy the evening. I want to thank Erica especially for making the trip, and Dan for making the trip, and all of you for coming out tonight. Thank you so very much.